where he's going to like also tell us a bit about himself and then go on into telling us about his career journey and experiences so far. And that would go on for about 20 to 30 minutes, after which there will be a question and answer section, and then a recap and any other comments from the audience. So starting with myself, I'm Olakumi Ogiyemi. I'm a medical doctor, recently completed my NYSC, and I essentially started Doctors Without Stats because as right from medical school, I just wanted to understand other things I could do in my medical degree beyond. It just seemed like everybody was bombarding you with like residency, and then even looking at how residency is in the country, it's not so attractive. So I wanted to find out other things to do beyond going into residency or dropping medicine as a whole. And this led me to starting Doctors Without Stats. I currently run Doctors Without Stats with Christian. Is not on the call at the moment, and a couple of other people who help out with some of the logistics. And we started I think about almost 10 months now, and Dr. Ibrahim was actually our very first guest, and he's on the call today as an attendee. He was our very first guest when we started off with DWS conversations. And since then, we've had several people from finance to health systems, epidemiology, bioengineering, and others. And we hope to have even way more diverse doctors come on to talk about their journey so far. And with that said, I would go on to, I'll just follow the list here. So going on to Chris Agape. Oh, I don't know, did I pronounce that well? Chris, can you please introduce yourself briefly, about a minute, and one of the things you hope to get out of this session with Jeff? I'm sorry, Chris,
Okay,
please put on your video while if you are in a place where you can put on your video, please, we would like for you to put on your video so we can just see your face. Then if you wish, you can put it off after.
okay, sorry, I'm actually on the move now, so I will not be able to put on my video. But good afternoon, everyone. My name is I work in insurance, and I hope to learn about Jeff's journey and how he came to design. Just to give you a broader understanding of that. So I'm happy. I don't know if you heard me.
No, you're breaking a bit. Can you just start over? Sorry about that. Chris?
Can you hear me now?
Yes, it's way better.
Okay, I said my name is Chris Agape. I'm a medical doctor. I currently work in the insurance space, and I'm looking forward to hearing Jeff's journey and how he went from being a dentist to being a designer. So that's what I'm actually looking forward to, and just understanding how that transition took place for him and the opportunities in that field. So thank you.
Sorry, Kumi, on side notes, Chris is my colleague at work, so.
Oh, nice. All right. Thank you. Actually, Chris is also my classmate, actually. I just didn't know that he worked at WellaHealth also. All right. Thank you. Christiana.
It's a meetup.
Yes. Christiana.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Christiana Omilazo. I'm a final year med student at the University of Lagos, and when I heard about Doctors Without Stats, I don't know where I first saw it, probably on social media. I was interested because I've seen the main specialties in medicine, and it's not looking like, oh, I'm going to be in a fixed path, and I'm looking to using technology to solving problems that we have both in healthcare and generally just in the community. So today's session, I'm really looking forward to it. Thank you.
Thank you, Christiana. Ibrahim.
So my name is Ibrahim, finished med school about 6 years ago, now working in medical devices, biotech. So I'm always interested in learning about what other people's journey, living proper clinical medicine to other aspects of medicine, what that is like. And I'm just looking forward to learn about Jeff's journey, just like everybody else.
Thank you, Ibrahim. Jason Paul Martin. Hi, Jason Paul. Are you on the call?
Yeah, I'm here. Sorry. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Martin Jephthah from the ophthalmology event. I called to a day that medicine will be my side of you, and I'll be focused on something else. And that was what brought me to DWS, and I've been learning from people's experience on how they get me to cross from medicine to other things. And I hope to also learn a lot of evening too. Particularly, I'm also interested in tech, and I learned how I get to really tech too. So I look forward to learning a lot. Thank you.
Hi, thank you, Jason Paul. Wale Bailey.
Good afternoon, everyone. Can you hear me?
Okay.
Good afternoon. Can you hear me?
Yes, Bailey.
Okay, so my name is Wale Bailey. Okay, I have a MBBS degree, and okay, so I'm supposed to talk about what I do, Abby. Okay, I have interest in literature and culinary arts. I don't know, in a way, I'm looking for how to integrate medicine with the two. Yeah, so I'm here because Doctors Without Stats seem like a future for me, like sort of. So I just want to see how it goes and learn from people's journeys, so to speak. So that's what I'm here to. Thank you, everyone.
Bailey. So Lamide, please introduce yourself and just briefly what you would like to achieve from attending this session.
Okay, hi everyone. My name is Olamide. I'm a medical officer at the moment, and the major reason why I'm in this session is because I'm actually interested in learning UI UX design, so I could have a possibility in transitioning into tech. So that's it.
Thank you, Lamide. All right, so we're going to go to Jeff now, and we'll get right into this session. And while he's talking, please let's just take note of maybe questions you may have or comments on his journey so far, so we can discuss during the Q&A session.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Jephthah Aletan, and thank you guys for having me. Olakomi, thank you so much for creating this kind of platform for doctors and other professionals around Nigeria to, be able to rub minds and learn from each other on how to do stuff before the hospital. All right, so like I think the small biography that was put is I'm a graduate of dentistry from Abapeta University in Ife, finished in 2015. It was a very thorough journey. Dental training is one of the most difficult medical training you're going to get, especially in Ife. It was really, really hard. And I think that was one of the reasons that spurred me to start thinking around how I could do stuff outside the four walls of the hospital. Right, like everybody will have experience over time. You will definitely notice anomalies while you were training, and when you start working, and you are in the system, you start seeing more and more anomalies. And if you're an outlier, you always look for ways to solve things outside of using the normal hierarchical system in medicine. And that was what spurred me to start looking for ways. But really, I started designing in 2013 when BlackBerry was like really people wanted display pictures and stuff, right? So it doesn't have a need to make extra cash as a student. So I started like doing posters and stuff from people. Learned design through YouTube like most people would. I mean, if I had this internet everywhere in school on campus then, so if you had like a bootleg password, you could easily access internet then. So go out at night to find ways to learn, watch YouTube videos, and just see how I can use CorelDRAW there. And that was how my journey started, designing posters and display pictures for people for their events in school. As side also more or less to be able to get catching. But as things would happen, I started like taking interest outside medicine in school. I consider myself a creative person, so I was really interested in the entire literary world. I wanted to write, host events that gathered around that. So I and a couple of colleagues, one of them being Ayomide Joe, that likely made the connection. DJ then was someone, yeah, our DJ is someone that's currently called DJ Chris. DJ Chris is a medical doctor also. Is still a DJ till now. Still works. Is a orthopedics resident in I think Akure, but currently still doing wedding DJ. So the whole bunch of us were just wanted to do stuff outside medicine, and it's kind of just poured this interest in everyone, looking for ways to do more. And that was how gradually I started tilting away from thinking around working in the core practice, right? And start looking for ways to work outside of like the core practice. So we started around 2015, 2016. There was also something we did in Ife called freeway.net, along with some couple of guys in school then. Most of them not really practicing in core medicine now. Almost everybody has gone to do stuff outside of the four walls of hospital. Ayomide Joe was still part of those guys, and what freeway.net did was to provide materials that was not available for students to be able to download, mostly medical students to download and use on campus then. So those experiences kind of started like reshaping my mind as to how I can make impact at scale rather than doing stuff in the hospital. But as God will have it, I finished from Ife, then I had to wait a year for house job. Right. I mean, that must have been an experience a couple of people would have had. The promise was you'll be done with medicine and instantly you get the best job in Nigeria. At least if you are not rich, you'll be very comfortable. That was the story. But I found myself going to write entrance exam for house job, which I felt was an anomaly, right? And not getting called despite passing. So I realized it's now a matter of, you have to use power of invisible legs to get into the space. But that was when the whole now full-blown discouragement started for me. But that 1 year, I didn't stop doing design I was doing. So I had the opportunity of making more friends. They were somewhat polymaths, but outside of medicine now, most of them were lawyers. They were building companies and doing stuff in Lagos. So they needed a designer to work with them. And that was when I make it like a profession, because I got employed to some of them, to some of those companies, and they started paying me monthly to just design logos, social media artworks, stuff for them. Then I realized at the end of the month, I was making as much as my colleagues that were doing their house job already, right? So the money too became a thing. It became obviously a motivation for me. Then I realized that I was constantly becoming way more interested and embedded in the whole design thing, right? So fast forward 2017, I got a job in Exodus, and that was what killed thinking around even practicing at all in hospital for me. So first thing first, I got in when I think Nigeria started having recession, right? So I was in Ado for first 6 months. My salary was paid once. Um, we worked in a very terrible medical condition. It was not an amazing condition. There was constant strike from the Association of Resident Doctors. The CMD didn't care. I mean, the governor runs the hospital, so it was crazy. And we were forced as health officers to start protesting. That was, I mean, the primary assignment was to work in the hospital, but we were constantly protesting for things like lights, like water. And I felt that, okay, we have like medical leaders here that were supposed to, be fighting for the collective interests of doctors across the country. But it seemed like as long as you're in power, it's going to be always difficult for you to look at the lowly ones that have been oppressed and help. So that's kind of changed a lot of things for me. I mean, I had really awesome consultants and great colleagues that I worked with in Ado. We were very late in, we literally have to constantly be on your toes because it's a very small hospital and you have to do a lot. But in between doing a lot, people were not getting paid their salary at the due time. There's constant strike and a lot of things was happening. Then that question came, that how do I, do something about this kind of things? People need help. People are falling sick, people are dying, but the hospital that they are supposed to come to are not even working. I mean, as a doctor, you're not supposed to be seeing people with malaria in a patient clinic in a tertiary health institution. Those kind of problems should have been solved in primary health care centers. But here you see people bringing like regular illnesses to outpatient clinics, and doctors are overwhelmed, they are underpaid. So started looking at the system as well and realized that there's a major problem here. And that was when I started thinking, how could I solve the problem at scale, right? For me, it's now a matter of not just, I still want to do something in medicine. I just no longer wanted to do it in the hospital. One, the system, to me at that time, I've seen predicted that this was not going to get better. Maybe it's a Nigerian factor thing, Once something starts getting worse in Nigeria, it never stops getting, it gets worse, then it gets dilapidated totally. So it's going to become easier. And I something for myself, right? I mean, the Hippocratic Oath is a very amazing oath. The opening says that like you consecrate your life to the service of humanity. But is humanity serving us, how do we get reward for this crazy hard work, exposing yourself to all kind of illnesses and stress and all, and it seems like the effort is not constantly being rewarded. Not to discourage anybody from clinical practice. It's a very rewarding field, but definitely you know that the reason why doctors are leaving the country and going to UK and writing PLAB and writing USMLE and trying to move to Canada is because the system is not really favoring us as medical doctors and other professionals. So it's became imperative personally for me to follow. So I was back to Lagos and I tried to apply the same very terrible fees. Dentistry wasn't a popular field, so the space was like really competitive and you have to know people. I'm son of a poor man, so I had to start looking for ways to cut my own destiny. And that was when I met Dr. Neto, that was the CEO of WellaHealth. Just DM'd me on Twitter because saw some of my designs and wanted to do something for himself, like starting a company called WellaHealth. It needs this and this and that. Am I willing to create those things for him? I was like, yeah. Then I started taking keen interest in what we were doing at WellaHealth. And him started, contract works, what's the why presentation was PowerPoint. I started reading slides of presentation and things he was trying to do to raise funds, how he was pitching WellaHealth to people, and it became so interesting. Then I got to speak with him. I realized the medical doctor actually that's working in Ireland and is trying to do something in Nigeria. What are you trying to do? So speaking with him kind of stoked a fire in me, and yeah, I knew that I needed to have some sort of experience in tech because that's where I wanted to work. So I joined a company called Ventures Garden Group, applied there, and I remember my interview. The first question they asked me is, "Are you a dentist now? Why? How will you align your degree with designing?" So I remember speaking with the HR officer then and telling him that essentially what we do in medicine is to make diagnoses and solve it, look for solutions. And it's essentially what you do with design. People come with challenges, you look at them, you investigate, you are going to take history, you're going to test them, examine them, then you make differential diagnoses and come up with a way to find out what the like real problem is and solve it for them. So, and knowing that kind of like I realized that I didn't lose that training that I've had as a dentist, because I literally could transfer the knowledge to to design that I was doing then. So I joined the branding and communications team in Venture Garden Group in 2019, right? So things started there for me mainly. I had a very good teacher that was an architect too that moved to design. The head of comps is an accountant that moved to design. The person in charge of media and communication was a teacher that became a photographer and videographer. So the team was a mix of people that probably very satisfied with what they were getting from their field and wanted something more. So all of us had that connection between us, and it was really nice having such people around me. Then also I had colleagues in VGG. Dr. Carson Osegale was my class rep in Ife. It was at the time I joined VGG, was a business manager in one of the small business units there. He has gone from being a dentist and our class rep now to just talking about finances and business analysis and a couple of things. So I had those kind of people around me that, and I've always had them that you can always look up to and say, okay, these guys are trying to like do something outside of the four walls of medicine. But that was a desire in me to not, totally leave what I've done for 7 years of my life. I wanted to still do something in the field, right? So VGG for me was like a training ground. So I learned how enterprise tech was built. I learned how design can be used, leveraged for technology. I learned a lot of things. So an opportunity came for WellaHealth for me to join WellaHealth, and I took it. So Doc called and said he needs me to come and join the team so that I can learn. That's Dr. Neto. And I just took the opportunity early 2020, joined WellaHealth. And from there, I've done all kind of things around design. I've done behavioral design, I've done user interface design, I've done user experience design, I've done consumer experience design, I've done service design. And WellaHealth being a startup kind of made it way easy for me to continue to learn and train myself and build up on the experience that I've gathered over time. And now I lead the design team. I work with Chris. Chris has recently joined us and it's been an amazing addition. I recently just found out that Chris is a medical doctor also. And in the team also as well as we have pharmacists, we have doctors, we have people from different walks of life that have decided to go into tech. And what I found is that tech has a very good barrier to entry. You can literally watch YouTube all your life and just know how to learn this. Nobody will ask you for your certificate, right? It's so easy to, as long as you can show the workings, you can easily join a company and start coding. We have people that are currently in second university, perhaps second or third year of the university, currently interning as well as developers, right? So, but it's been amazing, right? For me, I realized that the most important thing was to be able to still provide awesome medical solutions, but it doesn't have to be that you'll be sitting in the hospital clocking one patient for 15 minutes. And it's even difficult to help us go, because by the time you see 10 patients a day, you actually treat them, which was what you do at dentistry. You see them when you have to treat. You're tired for the entire day. Yeah, sorry about that. You're tired for the entire day. So yeah. I think that's it from me.
Thank you very much, Jeff. That was quite detailed. So we're kind of running out of time. So we're moving on to this question and answer section now. And I'm thinking we should probably just end this meeting and then rejoin with the same link. So once we join back, we're heading straight into the answer, question and answer section. So this doesn't cut off at any point. Is that fine?
Yes, that works.
Those are right.
All right, thank you. So that's the same link that you received in your mail previously. Thank you.